Officer down. Sergeant Samuels shot multiple times.
Attention all cars. Officer down. Officer down.
A little of the information we did have was the shots were being fired, and the dispatcher couldn't raise the officers. So our mind was all over the place. And being that the distance of where we were, we knew the possibility that we were going to be the first ones to get there. We kind of had an idea that we'd probably be the first ones to get there.
But I remember this overwhelming feeling of grief, of rage. You get a feeling in the pit of your stomach. You're in shock.
You want the outcome over quickly. You want the dispatcher to come back on the air and say, slow the cars down, the officer's okay. That's what you're waiting to hear. And it's dreadful because of those moments that are ticking between the time that you're responding. It gets you on edge because that's what you're waiting to hear. You're so hoping to hear the officer key up and say, I'm good, I'm good. It's there all the time. You have to think about that. This is the profession that we're in, and that's one of the dangers, that receiving that call. So you have to play that out in your head. I don't believe there are any policemen who don't. You have to be prepared. Everything was moving in slow motion. I knew they were talking, but I couldn't hear anything.
To be that knock at the door, they don't. There's no way they could train you for that. There's no way they could prepare you for that. They could put you through any class they wanted to. No way you could be ready for it. To go and knock on that door. What do we say? What do you say? I've been involved in police funerals before, never this directly. It was massive, and it was awe-inspiring, and it was just, it made you feel that we all were and still are a family. And there was people there from far corners of the country to pay respects to this young kid who was out doing his job trying to catch a bad guy, and they're here to pay their respects to him.
What's stripped away from those families? You know, simple things. You know, the first Christmas Eve, a confirmation or a baptism, a wedding, graduation, first day of school. That's what surviving family members are stripped of, because their loved one was trying to make a difference. That's why we have this breakfast. And you know, I think it's important that family members know that it's just not pictures that we have in different police stations of the fallen heroes and at headquarters, but stories resound to this day.
We remember, and we remember, especially if you were there, especially if you knew personally the individual, you remember every little detail.
So we're honoring police officers from the St. Louis Police Department that have given their lives in the line of duty, fallen heroes. But just as importantly, we're honoring the legacy of the surviving family members, their legacy of dignity, of perseverance, of endurance. And you'd have to be a family member to know exactly what each one felt at the time that it happened to their loved one, but we're a police family, so everything's integrated. And this is just to remind family members, I always think that we are a police family, and this is the day we don't forget our fallen heroes, but we don't forget you either.